Pa-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Pa-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Pa-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Pa-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, guys. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are watching from in the world. My name is Ayoti, and this is Eagle Striker, the home of Nigerian football. We are live. We are live. Finally, the long-awaited list for the Super Falcons World Cup squad has just been announced. Well, not just, was announced earlier today. And I wanted us to have a quick chat to talk about the team, talk about the expectations, some of the surprises in the squad that was named, and how people are feeling about Nigeria's chances at the big tournament. Do you have faith in the Super Falcons? Do you think that they can put in a good performance at the World Cup? Are you scared that we might get knocked out early? Is there anybody that you wish was in the squad but isn't? Um, let's talk about let's talk about it. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Um, so yeah, talking about the Super Falcons at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. I'll just put the team on the screen for anybody that might not have seen it, and then I'll run through all the players, and then afterwards we can pick on specific pain point of specific topics to discuss with regards to the squad. Just give me a sec. Let me put the team on the screen. The World Cup squad for the Super Falcons. Where's everybody this evening? So yeah, I don't know how visible it is to you guys, but this is the Super Falcons team. I'll run through the list, and then we'll talk about specific points that are worthy of noting, and things that might be interesting to people. Um, Goalkeepers. I mean, as expected, as usual, we have three goalkeepers. We have Chiamaka Nadozie, player for Paris FC. We have Tochukwu Eluehi, who plays for Hakkari Guccispor in Turkey. We have Yewande Balogun, goalkeeper as well for AS Saint Etienne in France. She just won the league in France in the second division, got promoted to the first division of the French women's football. Defenders, we have Captain Onome Ebi, who is listed, I believe, as a player for Abia Angels. We have Osinachio Hale, who plays for Deportivo Alaves in the Spanish women's top flight. Excuse me. We also have Gloria Bona, who is a defender for Besiktas in Turkey. She just renewed her contract with Besiktas for yet another season. So congrats to Gloria Bona on two ends there. We have Ashley Plumter, our Oyinbo defender, player for Leicester City FC in the English WSL. We have Rofiat Imura, player for Stade de Reims in France. She can play as a defender, as a forward, or as a midfielder, depending on where the coach wants her to be. We have Michelle Alozier, a player for Houston Dash. And last defender on the list, we have Oluwatosin Demain, also a player for Stade de Reims in France. Moving to the midfield, we have Halimatu Ainde, player for in FC Rosengard in Sweden. Is it Sweden? Yeah, Sweden. We have Tony Payne. Tony Payne is a player for Sevilla FC in Spain. Tony Payne can be listed as a midfielder or as a forward. All depends on how the coach is feeling about it, I will say. We also have Rashidat Ajibade. Rashidat Ajibade, who is either a midfielder or a forward, depending on what the coach is feeling like. We have Christy Ucheibe. Christy Ucheibe is a player for SL Benfica in Portugal. She won the Portuguese league for the third time in a row this season. Renewed her contract as well, so congrats to Christy Ucheibe on two or three different fronts over there. Um, we have Deborah Abiodun, home-based player. She plays for Rivers Angels in Nigeria. She's also been called up to this squad. Of course, she was part of the under-20 team that impressed a lot of people recently, I will say. And then we have Jennifer Echegini. Echegini, she's not even a pro player yet. She plays for Florida State University in the United States of America, but she's already making a call up to the national team, which I think is very impressive. I think it's impressive that she's able to make it into the national team right now, even though she's not playing professional football. So congrats to Jennifer Echegini on that one. And then going to the forwards, we have Uchenna Kanu, player for Racing Louisville in the United States, NWSL. Uchenna Kanu, of course, she has had stints in Sweden. She has had a stint in Spain. She has had a stint in Mexico as well. And now she's currently playing for Racing Louisville in the USA. We also have Gif Monday. Gif Monday is a player for UDG Tenerife in Spain. Everybody that is a Super Falcons fan or a fan of women's football in Nigeria has probably at least heard of Gif Monday, even if you don't know her that well. We have Ifoma Onumonu, a player for Gotham FC in the United States. And we also have Asisat Oshuala Agbabola, um, African Women's Player of the Year, top striker, top forward, won the UEFA Women's Champions League with FC Barcelona. She also won she also won the Spanish La Liga Femenina title. One of our better or best players, if we're being honest with ourselves. Of course, Oshoala is on the team. We have Francisca Odega, a veteran in the Super Falcons team, player for CSKA Moscow in Russia. She's been called up as well. We have Esther Ijoma Okoronkwo, a player for AS Saint Etienne. She also won the league title with Saint Etienne, got promoted to the first division of French women's football. And then finally, we have Desire Opara Nozier, a player for Wuhan Jingyan. Forgive my pronunciation for any of my Chinese followers. But yes, Desire Opara Nozier plays in China and she's been called up as well. So there you have it, 23 players selected by the coach. Let's get into the conversation. I think the first thing that I would say, at least I noticed, the first thing that I can say I noticed is that other national teams, at least a lot of national teams, were putting out preliminary squads. A lot of national teams are putting out preliminary squads for this tournament, whereas Nigeria has just gone straight up and given us, the first team, or rather the final team, the final 23. So we don't seem to have any preliminary squad. All these players, barring some unfortunate injury or anything like that, these 23 players are the ones that are going to represent us. I know that in this Women's World Cup tournament, there were a few countries that were asking FIFA if they could get more than 23 players in the team, but unfortunately FIFA declined their request. So it's only 23 players per squad. And yeah, let's talk about our team. Goalkeepers Chiamaka Nadozie. I don't think anybody can be surprised about that. Nadozie is evidently the best goalkeeper that Nigeria has in women's football. She played well for Paris FC this season. She kept 11 clean sheets in about 20 something games. I don't remember exactly. She got her team promoted. She got her team qualified for the UEFA Women's Champions League. And yeah, she had a fantastic season. and hopefully she can continue her good run of form and even impress more at the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. We have Tochi Oluwehi, who plays in Turkey. Oluwehi is also a veteran um, in the national team. All the way he has been there, done that. She's won a couple of cons with us. And yeah, she'll be going to the World Cup probably as the second choice goalkeeper. But, always he provides a level of confidence, a level of safety that even if something, God forbid, were to happen to Chiamaka, even if Chiamaka is not fit, Chiamaka is not at her best, you can actually trust a player like Tochi Oluwehi to come into the mix and to still give you a good performance. And then lastly, we have Yewande Balogun. Yewande Balogun plays for AS Saint Etienne. She didn't play that many games this season, but from the little I've seen of her, she's not, of course, not a bad option for third choice goalkeeper. She's been with the national team for a few years now. Um, and yeah, she's going to Australia, New Zealand, probably to play backup to both Chiamaka and Tochi Olwehi. Um, I'll take a quick intermission to let you guys that are on to admire this jersey. I am really a fan of it. I know a lot of people were criticizing it when it came out, but I'm a fan of this jersey, man. I got mine as soon as it was available. I've been wearing it today. I know some people were saying, where is the black in our design? How did they get black? It's interesting how I'm looking at myself on the live now, and it still looks black, but the jersey is actually green. The jersey is actually green. It's a very dark, it's a very dark kind of green, but it is green. If you see it in person, you'll know that it's green. I don't know why it looks black. I mean, it's camera effect. But I think it's a nice jersey. I have the home kit as well. I just prefer to wear this one. But yes, this is one of the kits that the Super Falcons will be donning at the Women's World Cup. For the first time, Nike made different jerseys for the men and the women, and I'm happy to see the women have their own identity, and of course, happy to support them in Australia and New Zealand. Um, okay, moving on. Moving on. Thank you very much for everyone that's tuning in. I appreciate your audience, of course. Moving on to the midfielders. Moving on to the midfielders. Rather to the defenders. Moving on to the defenders. So the first one, Ibionome, captain of the team. If or when Ibionome makes an appearance at this World Cup, she would become the first player, at least to my knowledge, and I think this is actually a fact. She will become the first player, either male or female, to play in 6 different FIFA World Cup tournaments. Ibionome is on the verge of making that record for herself, to play in 6 different FIFA World Cup tournaments. Um, I know a lot of people think that she doesn't deserve to be in the team. She's currently listed as a player for Abia Angels in Nigeria. So technically, Ibionome is a home-based player, but I don't think she's actually made any appearance for them. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I will say, I think that she shouldn't start. Um, but at the same time, I don't know if there are many better center backs out there that did not get called up for her. I just think that we're probably better off starting Ashley and Osinachi Ohale as the center back pairing. Ashley on the left, Ohale on the right. But let's see how it goes. I believe that all things being equal, she's going to make an appearance for Nigeria at that tournament and she's going to break that record. So congratulations in advance to Captain AB Onome. We also have Osnachi Ohale, who I referenced just a couple of seconds ago. Osnachi Ohale, I think, is a fine defender that we have. She's solid at the back. She's good in the air. She's strong. And she plays for the Deportivo Alaves in Spain, so she's one of the players that plays at a relatively high level. At least a high level, of course, a very high level compared to some of the other options that we might have had, or even some of the other players in the squad. So kudos to Osinachi Ohale on getting a place in the team. Not too much to say about that. We have Glory Ogbonna. Glory Ogbonna plays for Besiktas JK in Turkey. Ogbonna, I believe she plays as a left back. She's a good defender. She impressed this season for her club in Turkey. She, like I said earlier, she was able to get a contract renewal, and she's going to be making an appearance, possibly. It's going to be difficult. I don't know who the coach will prefer between Ogbonna and Rofiat Imura. I cannot tell right now, but she's going to be competing with Rofiat for that left back spot probably. Um, but yeah, let's see how it goes. We also have Oluwatosin Dumain, a teammate of Rafiat Imura in France. Dumain is a centre back, young centre back who just elevated herself in recent years. She made that step up from playing under 20 football to now playing first team football for the Super Falcons to now playing regular first team football for her club in France. And yeah, congrats to her. Her first FIFA Women's World Cup. Hopefully, she's able to impress. Hopefully, she's able to put in solid performances. And I wish her all the best. I'm really rooting for the young players in this tournament. And then final defender that we have is Michelle Alozier. So Michelle Alozier's own is a bit tricky because of course we've seen it from years past since she joined the team. Coach Randy Waldrum has been playing Alozie as a defender, whereas in fact when she plays for her club, she plays as a forward. She plays as a winger for her club. But of course, Randy Waldrum believes that she has defensive quality, so he plays her further back. When she plays for Nigeria. Um, I think with Michelle, it is always a bit tricky because when you watch her play, you can tell that she's not a natural defender. I think you can tell it's fairly obvious usually. Um, so I hope she doesn't get exposed playing against high level opposition at the World Cup. But another thing that you can always tell about her is you can always see that Michelle is giving her best. Whenever she plays for Nigeria, even if she's not having a great game in defense, even if she's not, playing the best football, one thing that I like about her is that you cannot really fault her efforts. You can always see that Michelle Alozie is giving her best and is playing her hardest, to produce a quality result for the team. So congrats to her on this call up as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the defenders in the squad. Moving on to the midfielders, we have Halimatu Ainde. Ainde is another veteran in the team, won a couple of cons with us. She's no stranger to the Super Falcons at all. I expected her to be on this team. She's composed in midfield. She knows how to control the midfielders. Um, and yeah, I expect her to go in there and be one of our key players. I hope the coach sets up his midfield really well because I think it can be a very crucial area for the Super Falcons, especially going up against teams like Canada, going up against teams like Australia. The midfield will have to be strong and will have to be able to compete at a very, very high level. Um, so yes, I think Halima too will probably have a key role to play for Nigeria, at this tournament. Um, Also, we have Rashidat Ajibade. So this is another tricky one. The coach lists her as a midfielder time after time. Of course, Rashidat for her club plays as a forward, mostly from the left. She plays as a left forward, left winger, depending on how you look at it. But her coach typically plays her, rather our coach Randy Waldrum typically plays her some. Well, I won't say typically, but a lot of the time he plays her in midfield, potentially as a center attacking midfielder, to try to create some chances, to try to play passes. Rash, of course, is a player that is probably Nigeria's second best player. She was Nigeria's best player at the WAFCON in Morocco. So we expect that she's going to play a big role for the Super Falcons. I think if Nigeria are to do something good at this tournament, if Nigeria are to impress at this tournament, Rashida Ajibade is going to have a key role to play. I do believe so. We also have Tony Payne. Tony Payne is a player for Sevilla in Spain, another talented player. I can see she's listed as a mid as a what's it called, as a in the squad. Oftentimes the coach has played her as a defender, and I've said it in the past that I feel like Nigerians have not really got to see the best of Tony Payne because she's been playing as a defender for Nigeria. Now she's listed as a midfielder, but ideally she will be playing as a forward. She's very talented. She can create chances. She can pick out a cross. Um, and yeah, congrats to Tony Payne. I'm not surprised to see her in this team. Um, we also have Christy Uchebe. Christy Uchebe, another solid midfielder that we have. Versatile player, can play center defensive midfield, can play CM, can play box to box, can play as a defender, whether from the left, from the right, from the center. I mean, but I have to say, I believe she's best as a midfielder, as a center midfielder. Coach should not go out there and play her as a defender in the World Cup. Um, but yes, Christy Uchebe, no surprise that she's in the squad for me. Of course, she was going to be there. She's been impressive for Nigeria in times past. She showed herself. I think she really came to light for a lot of Nigerians that maybe were not too familiar with women's football or were not too familiar with her. She really came to light at the WAFCON in 2022 in Morocco. You know, when she essentially replaced Rita Chikwelu, who is not in this team, by the way. When she replaced Rita Chikwelu at the WAFCON and showed that she was a quality player to have in the midfield for the Super Falcons. So congrats to Christy Uchebe. We have Deborah Abiodun. I don't know. Some people might think that this is a surprise inclusion. Some people might think that it's a worthy inclusion. Deborah Abiodun is a player who impressed for Nigeria at the under 20 Women's World Cup. She showed herself to the team, to Nigerians, to the world, and now she's earned a place in her first FIFA Women's World Cup. You know, it's a big milestone for her. I don't necessarily know if she will start. We have to wait and see exactly how the coach wants to line his players up and set up. But Deborah Abiodun is a good player. She's a quality player, and if she can rise to the occasion, she can be an effective option for the Super Falcons and for Nigeria. Congrats to her. Oninie Jennifer Echegini is the last midfielder that's listed here. Echegini, good player, good talent. Interesting selection. I will definitely say interesting selection. Um, some people might think she deserves it. Some people might think she does not. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, Echegini does not play professional football. She plays in college. She plays in university. Um, but the thing is that we have to admit, when she has played for Nigeria, she has actually impressed and done pretty well, even though she's still a college player. I mean, I saw her play in person when Nigeria played against Canada in Vancouver, and frankly, you know, she was probably our biggest threat in the attack that day. I think our best player that day was Rashidat, but our biggest threat was Echegini. When she came on, she was running past players. She can dribble. I think that she just needs to maybe make her final decisions better. You know, she needs to be more aware of the options before she takes an action. But overall, I think she can be a good option for us, you know, and she has a potential. She has the potential to really show herself at the world stage and sign for a very good club. Once she's moving on to a professional career, which I believe she should be next season. I think she's done with college, so next season she should be signing professionally. And I think the World Cup is, of course, a massive stage for the world to see her, for her to show herself, and hopefully, you know, she's able to get something good at the end of it. Some omissions in midfield that people have been talking about, people have been surprised about. Of course, there is Ngozi Okobi. Ngozi Okobi Samba. That is one that honestly is surprising. That is one that's surprising. Okobi has been a fine player for Nigeria. She has been a quality outlet in midfield, making runs, connecting the midfield to the attack, driving the ball forward. dribbling past players. We saw that initially the coach had not selected her for the WAFCON, and then when he eventually brought her into the team, she ended up being one of the best players for Nigeria. But unfortunately, she didn't make this team. Um, maybe she lost her spot to Deborah Biodun. Maybe she lost her spot to Jennifer Echegini. But a lot of people believe that Okobi, Samba, should be part of this team. And I honestly believe so as well. I'm a bit heartbroken for her. I'm a bit heartbroken for her. Of course, it's the World Cup. It's the World Cup. You want to be able to play at the highest level. And I mean, um, it's also not a bad thing that for the first time, FIFA is also giving a cash reward to all the players for participating. So not only is she missing out on the World Cup tournament, she's missing out on the payday. She's missing out on a payday, $30,000. In women's football, that is more than what some female players make. So that is a good payday for whoever it is. In fact, even male players are happy to receive that money. So it's unfortunate for her that she misses out on both the tournaments, the payday, everything. Um, Given her age, Okobi is probably not going to be able to, make the 2027 World Cup. So yeah, it is unfortunate. I feel bad for her. Um, she has served Nigeria so well. She has served Nigeria so well. I saw she made a post on Instagram, just to kind of say that, everything would be okay. Um, and I saw a lot of people were consoling her, feeling bad for her, saying that she deserves to be in the team, you know. But yeah, it's a tough one for Ngozi Okobi, a fine player for Nigeria. She's always done well for us. She's always impressed, and I wish that she was selected for this team. But unfortunately, I don't choose the squad. So what can I say? What can I say? Ngozi Okobi misses out. Um, Her teammates at club level, Rita Chikwelu, also not selected. Rita Chikwelu has, been a key member of the team in the past. She has been a veteran for the Nigerian national team. She has been involved a lot with Nigeria. She has won a couple AFCONs with us as well. Rita Chikwelu misses out. Chikwelu's own is something that, depending on who you ask, maybe some people think she should be there, some people think that she should not be there. She has, of course, lost a bit of her pace. She's on the older side now. I don't want to say the wrong age, but I know she's not young anymore. Um, and yeah, I know she must also be quite sad that she was not selected for this team and for this World Cup. Again, she's 35 years old. Yeah. So it's a bit of a tough one, but everybody wants to go to the World Cup, so I'm sure she must have been really hoping that she would be part of the coaches' selections. Some other players in midfield that have played for us recently and are not here. Um, a player like um, a player like Regina Otu. Regina Otu, of course, she's she's not a veteran in the team, but she has been in the team a number of times. She has represented us at times. She has done pretty well. She's 26 years old. I know she would have also been wishing to be able to play at this tournament. She just won the league with Saint Etienne in France. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, she couldn't make the cuts this time. It's hard to really argue that she should be here ahead of certain people, unless you want to maybe say, oh, put her ahead of Deborah, or put her ahead of Jennifer. But other than that, I think most people will be fine with Regina Otu's omission from this team. But at the same time, it's always painful when you don't make the World Cup. Forwards, I'll run through the forwards relatively quickly rather. Uchenna Kanu, player for Racing Louisville. Uchenna Kanu, of course, I believe she's She is, let me just double check her age. Uchenna Kanu is 25 years old, from Abia State. She plays for Racing Louisville in America. She has impressed at times playing for Nigeria. She scored the goal for Nigeria against the USA. Um, she did decent when she came off the bench at the WAFCON. She's a talented player. She knows how to score goals. Um, I say that, and then I'm going to follow up by saying she hasn't had the best time since she moved to the USA. She has only scored one goal for her team since she joined. She hasn't had the easiest transition to the NWSL. But I'm not surprised at all to see her in this team. I still believe that she has good quality, and she'll probably start on the bench. But when she plays, when she comes on, she can have an impact for Nigeria. She's a good finisher. She's good in the air. You know. So yes, congratulations to Uchenna Kanu on her selection for the World Cup. Gift Monday, another young talented player. Gift Monday plays for Tenerife in Spain. She's another player that came from the FC Robo system. She's played for Nigeria a number of times. She has impressed for Nigeria. I remember at the WAFCON, she had one substitute appearance that she struck a ball that hit the bar, and then everybody started, shouting, "Coach, why do you have this kind of player and you've not been playing her since?" Um, she hasn't had the easiest of times since she moved to Spain. I will say that, but she has also not had a rough time. She hasn't scored maybe as many goals as she would have hoped. I think she scored 3 goals in the season. She hasn't, got as many assists as she would have hoped. But at the same time, she's been adapting into the league pretty slowly, pretty well. She's done well in a couple games. Even when she hasn't scored, she's still impressed. And I believe that Monday Gift deserves to make this team for the World Cup. Congratulations to her. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be her first World Cup tournament. Um, and as long as she keeps up this level, you know, she should be going to more in the future. She'll probably start from the bench as well, Give Monday. But I believe that she would have a chance. And, um, you know, in football, it's all about what you do when you get your opportunity. So maybe she can even earn a starting spot after doing well in one of the games. We shall see. We shall see. Ifoma Onumonu, striker for Gotham FC. So Onumonu is another interesting player when you ask Nigerian fans about. A lot of Nigerian fans do not rate her too highly. Um, she has dipped in form for both Nigeria and her club side in USA. But Coach Randy Waldrum seems to really, really trust Ifeoma Onumonu. That's one thing that we can't deny. No matter what kind of criticism she gets, no matter how many people talk, Randy Waldrum always plays her. He always plays her. Um, so I am honestly not surprised in any way that Ifeoma Onumonu is in this squad. I would have expected her to be there, which she is. So yes, congrats to Ifeoma Onumonu. Congrats to her. I would like to know what you guys think about the players so far. What do you think about Onumonu? Are you happy to see her there? I know people will have things to say. Um, she started well for Nigeria. I honestly think so. And then her form dipped quite a bit. But overall, I think she's a decent option to have. She holds the ball well at times. She finishes well when she gets the chance to finish. It's just going to be interesting how she performs. Given the fact that, like I said, she hasn't been in the best of form for her club side either. I can see some people are already saying Ifoma's call up is not justified to me. I'm not surprised that some people have that sentiment. I'm not surprised. Um, but yeah, she's in the squad. She's in the squad. Okay, let me see. Somebody said I'm not reading your comments. I'm reading your comments, so I'm reading your comments. But I want to run through this very quickly. Um, Asisa Doshuala, Barcelona Femini in Spain, 5-time African Player of the Year, Best Nigerian Player, won the Champions League with Barca, won the Spanish League with Barca, scored a lot of goals. To be exact, I think I have it over here. She scored 27 goals in 40 games in all competitions this season. Fantastic return. And we hope that she's at her best for Nigeria at the World Cup. Um, if Nigeria is going to do something good at this tournament, then for sure we are going to need Oshoala to be at her best. We're going to need Oshoala. Just like I said, if we're supposed to impress, we will need Ajibade. I believe that Oshoala, we will need her as well. She is probably going to be the player that most of our opponents will keep their eye on. She's going to be one of the players that most of our opponents will keep their eye on. A lot of people will try to mark her out of the game. A lot of people will try to nullify her effect. So it is kind of up to her to really show herself, and show her ability, show why she's Agbabola, like people call her. Um, Asisato Shuala is going to be a key player for Nigeria if Nigeria is supposed to impress. We have tough opponents, we have tough games coming up in this tournament. So I want to see the best Asisato Shuala. I want to see the best Asisato Shuala. She's not getting any younger. She's not getting any younger. She is currently, if I am not mistaken, she's currently 28 years old. So ideally she should be at her peak, or getting to her peak, if at all. So Oshoala really, really needs to turn up for us. And if she does, then you know there is no reason why we cannot have a positive return or a positive outlook in this tournament. If Oshoala is at her best, I believe that we can have a good tournament for sure. Oshoala Najibade, like I mentioned earlier. Okay. Um, Felix is saying that he would rather pick Gift Monday over Ifoma Onumonu. I know people have that sentiment. It's tough. I know a lot of people are not happy with how she's performed for Nigeria or how she plays in general. And I think that this will probably be a make or break time for her. But in the coach's mind, to be fair, I don't think it really matters. But in the minds of Nigerian fans rather, if she's able to do well for us, if she's able to do well for us, people will believe that okay, maybe she deserves to continue playing for us. If she doesn't do much at the World Cup, then a lot of people will feel like yeah, they don't understand why the coach keeps calling her up. But she is clearly one of the favored players by Coach Randy Waldrum. So I am not surprised that she's in the team. I'll just say that I'm not surprised that she's in the team. Francisca Odega plays in Russia for CSK Moscow. Odega, another interesting player to have in the team. She's a bit on the older side now. She's of course a veteran of the Super Falcons team. She's been there. She's done that. She's won WAFCONs with us. She's played as the World Cup. I remember the 2019 World Cup. She had her purple hair, her purple braids. When she was running down the field, the braids were just waving and flying in everybody's face. People kept on talking about that. Um, she's been doing well for CSK Moscow in Russia, even though the Russian league is one of the lesser followed leagues, especially since the whole controversy started with Ukraine. But she's been doing pretty well. I've been keeping up with her, not really watching her games. I wouldn't lie to you guys, but I've been keeping up with her, seeing how she's performed. I don't have her exact stats in front of me, but I know she scored at least about 5 goals in the season. Um, the season is still on in Russia, actually. Bodega, she's a bit slower than she used to be. She's a bit less clinical than she used to be, but I believe that she's still somebody that can provide some inputs to the national team, she's still somebody that can do a decent job for us. So yeah, Odega's in the team. Congratulations to her. We also have Esther Okoronkwo. Esther Okoronkwo is one of the lesser known players to Nigerian fans. I do think so. Um, she's played a number of times for Nigeria, but I still think that a lot of people don't know exactly who she is. She scored a brilliant goal for Nigeria in our recent friendly. Was it against Haiti or against New Zealand, where she scored from a free kick? Um, she's a good player. She's a striker, so we have competition for places up there. But I think that when she gets her chance, she'll be able to provide some input. She'll be able to do a good job for us. She just won the league with her club Saint Etienne in France, got promoted to the first division, and now she's earned this call up. And then finally in attack, we have Desire Opera Nozier. Opera Nozier, people have been clamoring for her return to the national team in the past years after she was iced out, for for reasons that we know but we don't really want to talk about right now. Opera Nozier returned to the team sometime last year, and was it last year or this year? But she's been in, I think, about the last two or two. I think the last two squads she's been selected for, and she's impressed. She's shown that she's still one of Nigeria's better options up front. Um, Desire Paranozie is 29 years old, so she's not like old. Um, but yeah, I'm happy to see Desire in the squad. I think that she can be effective and she will be effective for Nigeria. It's going to be interesting to see how the coach sets up in attack. Is he going to play two strikers and maybe play Oshuala and Opera Nozier? Is he going to play Onumonu ahead of Opera Nozier? Is he going to play Oshuala maybe from the right? You know, um, there's different permutations and combinations that can happen. So it will be interesting to see how the coach sets us up. It will be interesting to see what the coach decides, amongst his strikers. It will be interesting. But I'm happy that Desire Paranoia is there. I do believe that she will play a role for Nigeria, and if just like I said for Ajibade, like I said for Shuala, she's also one of those players that if Nigeria really wants to impress at the World Cup, then there's a very, very big chance that she would play a key role. There's a very, very big chance that Opera Nozi will play a key role for us. So yes, congratulations to Desire Opera Nozi. Going to another World Cup, of course, is not her first rodeo, it's not her first encounter. And, you know, making her 30K as well is never a bad thing. Even though she plays in China, so she's making China money. But yes, Desire Opera Nozi is in the squad. Okay, so I've run through all the players. Let's just quickly look at our fixtures. Um, our first game of the tournament is on the 21st of July for those in Nigeria. 21st of July at 3:30 a.m. 21st of July at 3:30 a.m. So it's pretty early in the morning. We're playing against Canada. I know Nigerian fans will not want to wake up early to watch the girls lose. So it's going to be a big one. Canada, of course, is a quality team. We've played them twice in 2022. They know us just as much as we know them. So yeah, it's it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. If we can beat Canada and get 3 points to start, then it would of course raise our hopes and raise our chances of progressing far in the tournament. You know, if we lose against Canada, it's going to make some people lose faith. I know that it's going to make some people lose faith. It's going to make some people start to doubt. Um, but yes, our first game is July 20th for those in North America at 10:30 p.m. and for those in the UK and Nigeria is July 21st at 3:30 a.m. Then for whatever reason FIFA has given us a 20 a 7-day break. For whatever reason they give us a 7-day break. So after playing against Canada, our next game is going to be against Australia, the hosts, on July 27th. We're playing against Australia on July 27th, and it's early in the morning. Of course, because the games are being played in Australia. 27th of July, for those in North America, it's at 6 a.m. And for those in Nigeria and the UK, it is at 11 a.m. Australia is not a team to joke with in women's football. Of course, they have one of the best players in the world in Sam Kerr, prolific goal scorer for I say for Nigeria, prolific goal scorer for Chelsea and for our national team of Australia. Um, those two games to start the tournament, we could have had an easier start, but if we can win one, draw one, or draw both of them, so win one, draw one, or draw both of them, you know, it's not the end of the world. In fact, if we maybe win one, lose one, it might not also be the end of the world. But of course, we should expect and hope that the team will get 6 points out of six. First game against Canada, second game against Australia. And then to close out the group stage, we have a game on Monday, the 31st of July, 6 a.m. North American time, 11 a.m. Nigeria and the UK, against the Republic of Ireland. Ireland is not as big as Australia and Canada in women's football, but Ireland is also not a team to joke with. Ireland is also not a team to joke with. So we have to honestly be at our best for all three matches at this tournament. We have to be at our best for all three matches. Any slip ups can cost us. Um, Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe that there's any spot for best losers in this tournament. I should have double checked this. I know I looked at it some time ago. So it is something that we want to finish in the top two, or you're going home. Yeah, thank you, Smith Lai. So you have to finish in the top two, or you're going home. So we need to get, ideally 6 points out of nine. At least 6 points out of nine. Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. We just have to play at our best. We just have to play at our best. If we play at our best, we can get the desired result. I believe so. I believe so. Um, you know, we just have to be at our best. We just have to be at our best. And then there's more incentive for the players. If they get to the round of 16, they will each get at least $60,000. 60K is for sure, guaranteed more than what some players on that team make. A player that's in college does not even make money yet. So 60K for somebody that is just graduating university is going to do a lot for them. 60K for a young player playing in Nigeria is going to do a lot. Of course, finances should not be motivation for the players, but it's there, and I know that it's something that people are thinking about. Um, so yes, I really hope that we can advance from this group and compete in the round of 16 and the knockout rounds. And of course, once it gets to the round of 16, for me, the way this thing works is knockouts is anybody's game. Knockouts is anybody's game. Anybody that slips up is going home, you know, and anybody that has a good day is staying. Somebody is asking, I'm not going to read your question, Ifeanyi Peter. Um, I'm not going to read your question. It's an unnecessary. conversation that you're bringing up. I don't see the relevance in this. In this, um, but yes, we have how many minutes to end this? 10 minutes. Let me know what your thoughts are. How far do you guys think Nigeria can go in this tournament? Who are your players to watch? Um, People are still talking about Ngozi Okobi. Yes, Ngozi Okobi is the biggest miss from this team. Ngozi Okobi is the biggest miss from this team. Almost everybody believes that she should have been in the squad, but unfortunately, she wasn't selected by the coach for reasons best known to him. I don't know if they will ever explain to us, because in Nigeria they don't really be explaining to us why decisions are made. But yeah, I understand the sentiments that people have. I understand why people think Ngozi Okobi should have been there. I think I share that sentiment as well. She's a quality player for Nigeria. She has been there, done that. Even at the last tournaments that we had, she showed herself to still be a key cog in the machine that is the Super Falcons. Um, but she wasn't caught up. She wasn't caught up. She wasn't. It's sad. It's sad. But she wasn't caught up. Yeah. I don't really know what to say. It's just unfortunate that they didn't call her up, honestly. Okay. Let me see your comments. Let me see your comments. How far do you guys think we can go? How far do you guys think we can go in this tournament? That's what I want to hear from people. How far do you think we can go? Let me see your comments in this tournament. How far do you think we can go? Based on the squad, based on our opponents, at least the ones that are known right now, how far do you think the Super Falcons can go? I see Felix is saying, I hope we get to the quarterfinals. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible. It is possible. Quarterfinals is for sure possible. We just have to get, I think, at least 6 points from the group stage, and then whoever we face in the round of 16, we just have to be at our best. Um, Let me just look at the match schedule properly. So we are in group B. So if we qualify as winners of group B, then we will face the second place from group D. Group D has England, Haiti, Denmark, and China. So if we win our group, we'll face the second from England, Haiti, Denmark, and China. If football was played on paper, we'll say that England will probably win that group, but you never can tell 100%. And if we finish second in our group, we will face the winner from Group D. So I think, you know, if we finish second, we will likely face England in round of 16. If we face England in the round of 16, it's not going to be easy. We know how England are good. England won the Euros. Quality team. Obviously, they will have a quality prep. But if we win our group, then we'll face the second place team in that group. Regardless, it's not going to be an easy ride for the Super Falcons. But hey, we are Nigerians. We are Nigerians. When they put on that green jersey, you know, their power will rise. Or how did our former guy say it? So yeah, I really wish the best for the ladies. I wish the best for the girls. I want them to at least reach the round of 16. At least reach the round of 16. Definitely, they shouldn't finish fourth in the group because that would be embarrassing. Um, but they should try to at least reach the round of 16. This tournament, I think, is going to be interesting. Let us see how it goes. Let us see how it goes. Okay, I have to hop off now. I have to hop off now. Unfortunately, I wish I could have stayed even longer to talk about this World Cup, talk about this team. But thank you so much, guys, for engaging with me so far. Thank you for commenting. Um, Most likely, I would have another time that I would come on to talk about this team again. Definitely before the tournament starts, we'll talk more about this team. I just wanted to do this live today because, of course, the squad was announced today. Um, but yeah, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your Friday nights. Bye bye.